when we look at those substances, there can actually be neurotransmitters that will modulate or help control the effects of the acetylcholine and the norepinephrine. But that's good, okay? Because it can help to either work on increasing that activity or decreasing that effect. Some of our sympathetic fibers can also secrete other materials. Do you recognize any of those? Do y'all remember from part 1, the gut-brain peptide? This was back from chapter 26 when we talked about nutrition. And there is a relationship between the brain and the gut. And there are certain hormones that are going to work between the brain and the gut, and they're going to affect certain activities, such as making us hungry, making us feel satisfied, and that's what some of those are. So these sympathetic fibers can have an effect on our intake of food. They can have an effect on the growth of the cells. They can have an effect on the reproductive organs. Okay, so their effect, really, what is going to be their target cell is the big issue. The parasympathetic, the biggest one, they're going to stimulate endothelial cells. These are cells which are found in the blood vessels. And the cool thing, nitric oxide, not nitrous, okay, nitric, all right, big difference. It causes vasodilation in the blood vessels. Ever heard of Viagra? Cialis? I don't know any of the others. But that's the basis of how they function. Create vasodilation, increasing the blood flow to the penis to help with the erection.
Can you also take them when they're at high altitude?
I haven't heard about that. Is that like a new use they found for it?
I've heard that you don't take it at high altitude where you're not getting oxygen because the air is filtered. I don't know if it's a myth, but.
Like this usually light in weightlifting.
Do you use it in a heart attack?
Okay. But you're thinking about the little pill that goes under the tongue. Similar effect. Okay. Okay. I got a question. Okay, for the high altitude and the weightlifting, what do you do about the other problem that shows up?
Well, that's why you're taking it, right? In high altitude? Because you can't get it up, I'm assuming?
But no.
The blood vessels don't have to consist of increasing oxygen.
But isn't there the other effect that shows up also?
But I think
Okay, so then I guess that's my question, Andrew.
There are other vasodilators that they can prescribe to you that have that same effect without
the other
Russian.
portion being added to it.
Correct.
Yes, yes. And I knew that. I knew there were other vasodilators that they could do for the stuff like that, but I didn't know of anybody using like Viagra or whatever for that.
Yeah, it's like that, and they have altitude.
But they didn't take a deep breath. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just a thought. But the basis of the medications like that, this is what they're based on. They're based on the usage of this to try to create this material, this nitric oxide, which generates vasodilation. And, you know, that one of the things that happens, because it can't simply affect one set of capillaries, okay? It affects all of them. It's why the people get hot and sweaty and all this sort of stuff. And this was the picture that we went over. Now, for some of our organs, some of the target tissues, okay, the target tissues, for the most part, they have dual innervation, meaning they're going to have fibers from both divisions, from the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Now, if the effects are antagonistic, well, think about what it is for someone to be antagonistic. They're opposing you, okay? So they have the opposite effects. Either gear up or bring it back, you know, let it calm down. The cooperative effects, this is needed also. Cooperative. Think about this for a second. Sympathetic, fight or flight. Parasympathetic, calming down. If we were to oscillate between these two all the time, we would be so exhausted that we probably couldn't even move, all right? So what we need is to make sure they have some cooperative effects, meaning this keeps us in homeostasis, all right? They don't normally innervate the organs equally. For example, the parasympathetic has more influence than sympathetic on the digestive organs. The sympathetic has a greater effect on the heart than the parasympathetic. Another reason it takes us a little while to calm down, but we also need the blood to be pumping through the organs that can take care of those hormones to break them down. Those antagonistic effects end up creating, for example, heart rate increasing, decreasing, pupils dilating or constricting. The cooperative effects, when they are unified, okay, when they're working together, help us to maintain homeostasis. It's going to be termed autonomic tone. Like we had muscle tone, okay? This means that we're using these in everyday life. Like for example, I think I'm going to, how many of y'all are meat eaters? Okay, only two that are not? Okay, all right, y'all kind of forgive me, all right? So, because I'm going to use this example.
Friends don't eat friends.
Okay, so go home and I'll get a really nice chuck roast, and I'll get some onions and some of my veggies, and I'll spice it up really good, and I'll put it in to cook, and then, you know, when it's done, have it just all falling apart, give me these old mashed potatoes and all this sort of stuff. Anybody else in here start salivating? Okay, so this is a good example of them working together, not necessarily opposing each other, okay? Because one would be working to get you ready to eat. This would be working with some of those gut-brain peptides, believe it or not. You eat so that you don't sit down and eat the whole chuck roast yourself, okay? Some of those gut-brain peptides are going to be needed again, all right? So it's all this stuff working together. The dual innervation, a good example that I can give is the pupil of the eye. When we look at the special senses and when you look at the structure of the eye is going to have these little the pupil's going to have these little muscles attached. It is so cool, okay? Think about the pupil, already how small it is in your eye, okay? And now I'm telling you, you're going to have these little smooth muscles attached to it and can make that pupil dilate or constrict, all controlled by this division. It is so cool. Now look at this right here. Remember how we saw that green fiber go all the way to the medulla of the adrenal gland? That means the only stimulation the medulla of the adrenal gland is getting is excitatory, sympathetic. Some other areas, my erector pili muscles. What are those? The goosebumps. Whenever the hair stands up on the back of your neck, pay attention. That was something that was very important to caveman days. Okay? It's still important just today, believe it or not. Because usually if the hair is standing up on the back of your neck, something's wrong. Sweat glands, meaning you'll end up sweating. A lot of our blood vessels. But here's a kicker. It's going to play a major role in helping control blood pressure. It's going to come back to us in future chapters. And then it's going to help with routes of blood flow. Do you have blood flow to every tissue of your body 24/7? No. You do not have enough blood in your body to make that happen. Muscles that you are currently not using right now, they're not getting the high blood flow, very low blood flow. It's routing it to other parts of your body. When you get up and get ready to walk out of class, it's going to route the blood flow to skeletal muscles so you can get the blood flow. You do not have enough blood in your body to supply every cell, every tissue with blood flow. I know, kind of cool, right? Now, this tone that I mentioned, when these two systems work together, that gives us the tone, allows such things as shifting blood from one area of the body to the next, and helping us, for example, keep the body in homeostasis, making sure the heart rate is correct, respiration rate is correct, all right? Keeping the body at the normal keel, within what we consider normal levels. This is what I was talking about with those vessels at the area of the capillary beds, and how they are, even at that small, tiny, microscopic level, they're going to be innervated. And this is going to not only help direct blood flow to a certain area, help to get rid of the heat, help to hold in the heat, okay? You're going to find that because of this, the body can actually shift blood flow to where it's needed, which is a tad bit interesting to me.